Aquarius, for my last reading of the night. Something told me to do the video separately for Pisces and Aquarius, so that's what I'm gonna do. Alright. So just giving them a few shuffles, at least away from the last reading, to clear the energy a little bit. Happy Christmas, happy holidays. Okay. Another shuffle. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the Star Code Astral Oracle first. Just going to shuffle these a little bit more before I start. So starting out with the Star Code Astral Oracle, not everything I say will resonate with you, but based off of faith, we'll go from here. This is for Aquarius placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Stellium. If I said that in the other reading, oh my gosh, it's had literally a catch of embarrassment just kind of like flow right through me. Anyway, 11th house Stellium, what's up? How are you? Okay. So first we have Neptune, Vision 26. Okay. Love energy coming through a little bit. Artistic transformation. Artistic rebellion is also what I'm getting. We have Virgo, Digest, we have 6. So we also have 26 here, so 2, 6. Interesting, because the Pisces reading, what came up was 27 and 7. So here we have 26 and 6, so 2 6s as well. Very interesting. Someone could have their Neptune in Virgo, just putting it out there. We have Conjunction, Alliance, 51. Someone has a conjunction in Virgo. We also have solar flares, and then we have the South Node in the past. So some of you could have Virgo placements, and it's having different conjunctions. Yeah, with the solar flares and the South Node. I'm gonna keep that so I can see it. Okay. So working with Neptune first, visions. So whether you are a reader, whether you are an artist, whether you're a manager, whether you're a project manager, whether you're a communications person, marketing, so on and so forth, Neptune wants to change the game coming up, as it normally does. But what tricks does Neptune have up its sleeve right now for Aquarius placements? We have the 6 of Pentacles. So if you have distanced yourself from other people, friends, family, individuals, I do feel like it is for a reason. The 6 of Pentacles is you having a sense of self-preservation come to the table as is. Because with Neptune, you don't really know like what to expect. So you may have felt this way with some connections, or maybe you were very much under the Neptune spell of having the rose shaded glasses on with certain situations, and now you're going to be forced to be a lot more practical if you haven't already taken root. So next we have the Queen of Swords. Some of you, I do feel like you may need to talk to a pediatrician when it comes down to your children. There could be like a checkup or anything. It doesn't have to be anything serious, but you know, somebody could have gotten sick when it comes down to Neptune, or you know, there's just different things that are coming up. For some of you, this can also be like a therapist is what I'm getting. So some of you could be going back to therapy. Some of you with this Neptune influence and visions, other people are pointing you towards mentorship, at least finding a different type of mentor. There's just a different part of your path that is opening up at this time due to the arch right here as well. Something about putting cigarettes away for some of you. And it's just kind of like what I got in passing. Like I had like the whiff of cigarettes, and like nobody in the house smokes. Nobody in the house smokes cigarettes. Like back in the day, tobacco, but like that really nice smelling tobacco, but like the real tobacco, not nicotine or excuse me, not the cigarettes or the nicotine that you would find in like gas stations and different things like that. And I'm not talking about blacks either, but you know, just putting it out there, I just had like this whiff of like cigarette smoke. So some of you could be giving that up soon, or someone you know could be giving that up. So the Queen of Swords, there could be some trickery here when it comes down to the Neptune energy. So this could be a boss, but I don't know. There's a little bit of trickery here. I'm not really sure what that's about. But this person as well is under the Neptune influence. For some reason I wanted to say Cancer, but Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Excuse me. So we also have the Queen of Pentacles. Some of you could be having some inflammation issues, just putting it out there. So it's important for you to really intake more water. So these solar flares that you're feeling, it's like your nerves catching on fire a little bit, like with different things that you're picking up, or just things that you feel like you're not moving fast enough with, or the universe or people around you making you feel like you're not moving fast enough for certain things, but you can't move like that every day is kind of like what I'm getting. So next we have the Two of Swords. So they're putting you in this Two of Swords position, maybe analysis paralysis kind of taking over for some of you who may have like ADHD or ADD, or, you know, just overall like overconsumption, overwhelmed feelings, behaviors. Now, this can also be with the Two of Swords, like you're getting better with certain things are healing within you, but at the same time, when it comes down to the Two of Swords, you may feel like you stopped all of a sudden. No, you are getting better. The Neptune fog is just a temporary state of mind. It's temporary in a few different aspects. If people have been talking to you a little sideways here and or there, again, what I'm still getting is like this Neptune influence. So there is a Queen of Pentacles here, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Earth sign energy coming through pretty heavy, but what I'm getting is like rising or moon sign. It's a woman though that's coming through. I'm not sure. Maybe you've been confused with this energy, but the Queen of Swords, just you're cutting through a lot of this stuff, but the Queen of Pentacles needs you to also know that what they're saying is still valid. I don't know why there would be confusion there, but it is coming up. One person or the other just doesn't feel entirely heard in the situation. So next we have the Fool card. So with the Fool card, if there are some misunderstandings, I think you will be moving over them quite quickly coming up. Not to harp on it too much, but it does feel like your mind still wants to loop a little bit. And if it's not so much a looping, it just feels like, again, it's the fog of Neptune. Neptune is leaving Pisces, and as soon as it hits Aries, you're going to flip all the way over into the Fool card energy. Parts of you may know this, parts of you still may feel a little shell-shocked, because it's like, what were you doing for X amount of years? You are living in the indulgence and the envisions of Pisces energy, good, bad, or indifferent. Let me also get an affirmation card with this, because it's like your inflammation is trying to fight off different blame and shame and or guilt for some of you. Like it's really flaring up in different areas. A different truth wants to come out. Every room I enter shifts in my favor. So this is what's going on here with the Fool card energy. So when Neptune goes into Aries, you're going to feel more power surge through you. So this inflammation that you could be feeling at this time is definitely in conjunction with, you know, with the Virgo energy here with digest. You know, there's something about your solar plex that you also have to meditate on coming up. So what more do we need to know about this Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Swords energy? We know this Queen of Swords is you, Aquarius, but I feel like it's a Queen of Swords outside of you. We have the Divine Feminine energy coming through. So some of your ideologies, I feel, are going to be challenged coming up. It doesn't have to be negative, but okay. So it's about love. So in terms of the divine union, we also have growth here. What I'm getting is bisexuality for some of you. It might be highlighted. Some of you have been dating straight your whole life, heterosexual, and now you may want to turn the page, whether it's by curiosity, being bisexual, being a lesbian, something like that. But now it just feels like there's something here romance-wise around the divine feminine that wants to change over entirely. And or if it's not that, I do feel like when it comes down to the divine feminine energy and divine union, you're just looking at divine unions differently now. But I am getting this sense of love here and starting over. All right, now let's look into this Virgo energy. So Virgo energies, I feel as well, are going through these solar flares with you. If you feel like they haven't been, they are and have been in their own world. They've been going back with this South Node energy, really taking themselves aback in terms of, I don't know, like a younger self of them. They're going all the way back. If you have Virgo placements, it's hard for you to digest certain things, whether it's the stomach, keeping your shoulders a certain way. But some of you, I feel like, are going to be healing something in terms of the mother coming up. We have Scorpio, I embody every sign. Okay, hold on. Here we go. So Virgo, Scorpio energy coming through at this time. If you have both prominently in your chart, this is for you. Okay, we have Vision, Joy, and Virgo. Okay, so double Virgo energy here. Here we go, hold on. The sensual energy and then the fuck off energy. All right. You would think the Scorpio would have it, but no, it looks like the Virgo's taking the cake with this one. But joy, yeah. Use your imagination. Joy. Yes, you're allowed to be happy. Don't worry, we ask. So this is especially if you have Virgo in your chart, I feel. Your imagination, your creative imagination, your creative abilities are going to be reset coming back up again. I do feel like the visualizations that you've had in the past will come to fruition, but it's important and it's a very good sign that you didn't want to rush certain things. I got a notification on my end. A new subscriber. Michelle. Hello. But in terms of joy, in terms of vision, I do feel like, yeah, again, just old visions that you had in the past, they are going to come into fruition. We have vision twice here with the Neptune energy. So use your imagination, vision, Neptune. So creatively speaking, if you aren't writing, if you aren't making art, this is your sign to start. Now, for others of you, if you have been doing what you've been needing to do in terms of being creative, there's different things that want to hold you accountable now. Yeah, we have yes. Yes, you can pass go, you can collect $200. So there is money coming up for you if you're willing to pivot. Now, I'm not necessarily saying like quit your whole job, this is the sign, so on and so forth. Like you would have known to like collect your money for a while, so on and so forth. But I'm not really getting like retirement right here. What I'm getting is you pivoting towards something that you really want to do. This is you really being like, yes, I can do it. You see the, like, heck yeah, let's go. So something will pay off. Okay, it says ask again later. You already know the answer, you just don't like it. So with this Virgo energy, I don't know why there's like this competition here. There could be another Virgo energy that feels the need to compete with you. There could be a sense of jealousy here with the Scorpio energy. I'm not saying all Scorpios are jealous, but it is like, whether it's to them, from them, you know, there's still a sense of jealousy that kind of swirls around the Scorpio a little bit. I'm sorry, like all of a sudden my shoulders are just like, ugh. So Aquarius, have you been stretching the way you have needed to the last few days? And, you know, just ask him. Because, like, I already did my yoga for the day, and now it's just like, oh, did I even, like, do anything today? Absolutely I did. But for some of you, you just feel like you're carrying so much, especially if you have Virgo placements, you're dealing with another Virgo. I feel like a lot of you also have Scorpio in your chart, which is why it came out like that. Your joy is important. Your vision is important. Yes, all of this is important. But this whole ask again later concept, it's like there's a part of your Virgo energy for some of you that's like self-sabotaging you a little bit because it has this anger here. Or you feel like different Virgo placements want to sabotage you, but they are turning over a new leaf. Their anger hasn't been hitting the same. That's important to say, okay? So there's something about wheat here. There's something about the stock growing. I'm not really sure what that's about, whether it's like actually agriculture or like stock and money. Oh, wait, hold on. Money. Okay. Oh, toxic money. Wait a minute. Man, be careful not to manifest toxic money. Oh my God. Delete the thread, hang up, block, erase, repeat. Something involving a Cancer. Cancers have not been showing up the brightest. Pisces, brightest or the nicest, I should say. Let me use the Taramuka, my tried and true. What else with this joy and vision? It's just like as soon as it's like, yeah, you can do it, and then it like pivots off to something else. So what is this joy and vision? We have the Five of Cups here. Are some of you actively healing yourself on a cellular level? If not, that's where the issue is, babe. Dude, woman, primarily towards the ladies, but like anyway, babe. This Five of Cups says that there's something deep within you that wants to be acknowledged. For some of you, you need to have a conversation with your body. You need to have a conversation with talking to yourself differently, because the conversations that you're going to have with other people are going to change drastically, but in a very joyous way. I might do in parentheses, like when I publish the reading, like Aquarius plus Virgo, because there's a lot of Virgo energy in this. If you have had other Virgos in the past, like, really get on to you, like, yes, they did want to get on to you. Yes, they did see your vision, but at the same time, you know, your joy did rub them the wrong way to whatever degree. Oh, I have a few cards. No. I have 3 cards. We have the Temperance, the Ace of Cups, and the 5 of Swords. Whether it's the involvement with the Sagittarius, you had involvement with the Sagittarius, you have Sagittarius in your chart, something involving a Sagittarius caused friction, especially if a Virgo, this is why the Virgo was hating or something like that, but also it looks like the Sagittarius was hating too. This is somebody from your past. They or you really wanted this cup of joy, this cup of love, but now the Temperance energy is coming through as the angels trying to snap you out of like the old timeline to bring you back into the joy of what's going on right now. The 5 of Swords right here. Someone could be still talking shit. I'm not necessarily sure if it's this Virgo, the Sagittarius. There is a Virgo Sagittarius energy and or potentially a Scorpio, another Virgo, that they are sorry. They do see now. Yes, they do see. They have thought about how they did you wrong. This is in the conjunction of what's going on. If they haven't reached out, that's okay. That's okay. Because you can go now. So if you were scared to certain degrees where it's, I don't know, maybe you were scared of karma, maybe you were scared of things getting back on you, or you were scared about, but you put so much energy into certain individuals, this Virgo energy, Scorpio energy, Sagittarius energy, you put so much love into this individual, these people. The math isn't mathing for you to not feel like love is still not supposed to be given to you. It's deep within you. You know it is. With this Visions card and this Yes card, you feel really stuck here. Or there's like this almost revolving door feeling, or this carousel feeling where you just feel like, what's the point? We have 9 of Wands and Queen of Wands. So it's like a silent burden that you have going on right now with the 9 of Wands and the Queen of Wands. This internally may take 9 more months to heal. I don't really think it's like so much like out in the open when it comes down to certain healing, when it comes down to this Virgo, this Sagittarius, this Scorpio. But I do feel like the inner healing is going to take around like 9 months. So around August, you're gonna feel a lot more joy. But I feel like more than anything, you do have to focus on this Queen of Wands energy that is inside of you. If you have Sagittarius placements and you're watching this reading, I do feel like you've had a lot of disappointments recently, and it doesn't really show on you guys that you've been facing these disappointments. And I think that's exactly the goal you've been going with, but just be mindful. I do feel like for you guys, it's either going to be 5 months to 10 months if you know how to navigate your healing internally. So don't push it off like it's like it doesn't mean shit, because then you're just prolonging some of the healing. If you're accepting of certain situations you are going through right now, it does feel like it takes about at least 5 months. And it's, you know, I'd rather take 5 months than 10 months, you know? But this is the internal healing about like what's going on inside. And I feel this so passionately when it comes down to this Virgo Sagittarius energy, because the Scorpio card is here. The Scorpio card is going to see all of this. It sees the potential of joy. It sees the potential of healing. It sees what has gone on when it comes down to mourning, moving on, having to deal with psychological warfare to certain degrees. I mean, that's the Five of Swords. I don't really think it's so much talking nasty. It's just kind of is what it is. If you I already did the Scorpio Aquarius reading, but if you have Scorpio placements, for this reading in particular, I do feel like this has been you for almost a decade. We understand. I definitely do. I've looked at the charts, I've looked at the planets. It's, the Uranus opposing your sign is a son of a bitch at the end of the day. And it's all for character development. It's all for you getting better, realizing that you are the individual at the end of the day. You have you. Yes, we are all connected, but it's very much giving. If you don't create your own life, you are going to get lost in the pattern and in the life of somebody else's story. And that's where this madness kind of comes in, this Five of Swords. So a lot of the things that have been closing out, you do need to see it as a new revision because of the vision card right here. Because we had vision twice, okay? But those are for the first two groups. So with conjunction, this is the last card. Let's get an affirmation. What's this affirmation when it comes down to the conjunction? I am always at the right place at the right time. That's the first one. And the second one is, universe, show me how it gets better. I think this was also in the Aquarius Scorpio reading as well. Bottom of the deck. The circles around me empower me. I forgot who else also had that. It wasn't just Scorpio. But okay. Let's see. So you do have money coming in, okay, at the end of the day. We love to see it, but you do have to be mindful of toxic money and how certain manifestings, how thoughts and how toxic patterns, how other people kind of drew in, how they made a lot of money. This needs to be detoxed. We want the monies, but the toxic money is, for some of you, you have to bless the money that's coming into your life. That's really important to say. But you would know, is what I'm getting. Something about keeping coins, collect your coins. I know they got rid of the penny, but there's something kind of like pushing me to say, keep your coins, collect your coins. Don't, just throw them away like they're nothing, Okay. And then we have alignment. Pisces had this too. We have the Cancer energy right here. And Pisces, oh, look. Then we also have surrender. Spirit said give it here. And lovers. Okay, there's something in terms of like lovers energy when it comes down to Pisces or Cancer. Be mindful of the red flags. Divine masculine, because while I'm shuffling, it has divine masculine here. So I feel like with the Aquarian readings, I do pull in a lot of masculine energy. So it is what it is. I don't judge it. Not, of course, I know the ladies watch me here or there, but I also know y'all kind of watch me when you have the time. A lot of my friends got kids now. All right. Let me give this a few shuffles on my end. Ooh, I just feel all the tension in my back a little bit. Aquarius, y'all need some massages or something? Y'all need to like take out a piece of your paycheck so you could go get a massage or something. That's the Christmas gift that you should have for yourself. Or bring yourself at least. I don't know, it's just a random message that I got. Okay. We have the Nine of Wands here. For some of you, you think how you make money is toxic, whether the person you work under or the label, the brand, the editor. We have the Queen of Wands here. You are asked to step into the position of the Queen of Wands. Now, if this isn't you, you are dealing with somebody who wants to win at all costs. It is giving the energy of favoritism. It is giving the energy of throwing stones and hiding their hands. They are missing a version of acceptance within themselves. There's something about alignment here. We have the Two of Wands. So you may want to travel coming up for some of you. There's something toxic though about travel. Be mindful, be careful. I don't want to scare y'all. I know how Aquarians can get, but just be mindful. If you cannot leave during a certain time, just know that the delays are a blessing in disguise. You don't want to challenge it at this time. Delays are a blessing in disguise. Delays are a blessing in disguise. And if anything else, you're just going to see how the universe has your back. You know, some of you, whether it's magic, whether it's faith, you feel like you haven't really been steady with it for a while. But I do feel as though at this point in time, if the delays do show up, if toxicity shows up, you know, the universe is going to show you how it gets better. We have the Five of Pentacles here. This is finances. So if you went out of town recently, if you are going out of town, you might feel worried until February. So this is kind of like giving 5 weeks for me. So in 5 weeks, things will get better. In the meantime, what are you falling into alignment with? How are you letting the universe see you? How are you attracting different things into your life? How are you in the Queen of Cups energy? How are you sitting pretty? How are you receiving? Are you even accepting certain things to be received? I know I myself have issues with that sometimes. So you're not alone. You know, the Aquarians are all dealing with something in our own ways to a certain extent. But there are conjunctions coming back around. Something that you didn't pass the first time around. We have the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man energy has kept you toxic to a certain degree because of law, because of research, because of lawyers or the delay of that as well. If you've been in court, if you've been in spiritual court to whatever degree, it's been super toxic, you know, very devil in the details type of shit. 9 of Wands in particular. Knight of Swords. Someone's pushing you out of being in alignment with money. But I do feel like what you have hidden in your sleeve is the circles around you. The circles around me empower me. That was what it was at the bottom of the deck. So people might be trying to make you feel alone. But the thing is, when it comes down to Aquarius energy, it's just like you already passed that level when you were younger. Now it's about reverse engineering and having this true sense of feeling in alignment with the people around you. So there's something about shopping local. I don't know what that's like truly about coming up, but there's something about shopping locally. Outside of that, I will say maybe it could be a little bit sooner that you receive certain pay raises or something like that. Around tax return season, money might actually start going up a little bit, especially if you have like the side business, like extra income or some kind of project that you're working on, something like that. You know, it is going to increase. So it may not be until February. It could be like just different trickles of income, different trickles of money wanting to find you now. But for some of you, it's because you finally stepped into alignment with your true purpose. You're taking it seriously now. It's not to say that you didn't before, but when it comes down to being a creative, and I mentioned this in the other readings, there is going to be a lull. There is going to be a period in time where your obsession doesn't feel like it hits the same. And that's good because you don't want to follow too much into the obsession and make it feel like you're living the shadow artist way. Or it's just like, oh, I hit it big and then all of a sudden you lost everything. Obviously, we don't want to live like that. We want to live smarter, not harder, but sometimes we can't always choose the latter at the end of the day, you know? There's something about fruit here. Fruit trees is what I'm getting. Something about trees missing you. For others of you, if you live in an area where there's like a lot of pollution, this might start getting addressed in the coming year or two because of the Two of Wands here. Some of you might be a little defensive when it comes down to money as well. But that could also be in collaborations with someone else, why you're also having this Nine of Wands energy come up a little bit. If you're the one who is intimidated, this is very much giving like attract, don't chase, but also don't push away. And I can understand if something has been toxic in your life for a minute, for a while, you do want to, act out with pushing certain things away, but this calls for you to observe. Observe your surroundings, be fearless. Be fearless in knowing that you are going to be in not so much the toxic version of the Queen of Wands energy. Now, if you have been in the toxic Queen of Wands energy, it's time for you to fall into the right places at the right time. It is time for you to be like, you deserve better in the situation because the Queen of Wands, y'all can work. Obviously, there's going to be a certain extent where you're going to feel like you are also being corrupt because no one sees you. You don't feel appreciated. You don't feel like people are even respecting you. So if this has also happened in the past, a lot of this trifling energy is seeing its way out at the end of the day. But if you feel like it's still in the conjunction of keeping your money at bay, that's just a false belief that I feel that's coming through. The toxicity right now, it just seems like you need to heal your nervous system, you need to stretch, you need to have a conversation with your body. You may even need to have a conversation with yourself with how you also feel receiving money, receiving yourself in terms of your creative nature, especially in this Queen of Wands energy. The Queen of Wands is a creative force to be reckoned with. Someone who has manifestation skills, like right off the bat. Then even if you have water replacements, it's still the same when it comes down to the Queen of Wands. Emotion, passion, it goes hand in hand most of the time. So staying in alignment may be tricky, but unfortunately, we also live in this life where it's not always going to be guaranteed. Sunshine, rainbows, or something like that. I forgot how the song goes. Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. That's it. It's not always going to be that way. But I do feel like this is a time of not just introspection and reflection. It is a time of completing the shedding phase of the year in the snake. It's like you're at the very tippy tail of the things that you need to shed, and for some of you, you don't have assistance taking off this extra skin, and it might be leaving a mess here or there, but it's time to slowly take accountability for some of you, and it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be this wild thing where you have to jump into someone's DM and be like, I'm so sorry for X, Y. No, small versions of accountability will grow into this beautiful nurturing energy where you can still be a boss at the end of the day. So there's something in terms of accountability here, but there's another side of money truly feeling like it's growing, you feeling in alignment with this, because this is kind of like what my eyes are going back and forth with, where it's like part of your subconscious kind of just doesn't, it's at a crossroads at the end of the day. Because this is also how it's coming through. So you could be defensive with your money at this time, but I feel like you would only be defensive if you were going through a period of gloating, if you were going through a period of this is what I have, this is what you don't. To each their own mood and what they go through every day and what you have experienced. But this is also part of, you know, why you might feel like you're in the Nine of Wands energy. One of the most dangerous things you can do is gloat about how much money you have in like the public, you know? Not all the time, but I do feel like, especially with where you were, where you've been living, it's been pretty toxic. So trying to guard everything as much as you can, really pull the strings on control, even if it is for your own stuff. It's time for you to breathe more authenticity before the nodes change, because, you know, Aquarius, you're going to have the North Node conjunct you coming up. So might as well address these financial insecurities, these environmental insecurities. It's time for you to address even some manifestation insecurities. And I don't mean this in a bad way, because at the end of the day, you know, we're all flawed. We're all trying to make our way into a new version of alignment with what's best collectively, evolutionary wise, personal growth, generational, the list goes on. The list goes on and on and on. And what I'm also getting is take certain things you hear with a grain of salt, whether it's from me or like other people. It's important for you to keep to your literacy. Go within, trust your inner voice. I didn't really get a lot of love messages right now. But I normally kind of don't focus on love all that much. I can, but it's not necessarily what the cards always, like, through me, want to relay to the people who are always watching. Even times I'm always just like, okay, time to do a love reading, and it just doesn't show up like a love reading at all. So either way, I think I have reached the end of your guys' message. Whenever you guys are watching this, I hope you have a great night. And for the people who will come in the future later on, I hope you have a great morning, noon, evening, whenever you're watching this. Any closing messages? No closing messages. But I'll see you guys next time.